What's up, T-Snakes? Back to another Batman review, and guys, today we're checking out issue number 94, Their Dark Designs finale. This is actually the conclusion to the storyline that I pretty much think is like a prelude to the big storyline, the Joker War. Now, I've been excited for this issue ever since, well, issue number 93, because that was actually a pretty solid issue. We saw Batman go against the designer, they fought off in like a sword match, and it was actually pretty cool, right? But what happened was we found out that the designer is actually dead. He's been dead this entire time, and it's pretty much been a distraction, pretty much set up by the Joker himself. And pretty much Batman's been distracted, going after the designer, going after all these villains like Cheshire, Deathstroke. And what happens is Joker during this time has been pretty much recruiting different villains, planning to wage war against the Batman by stealing all his money from the Wayne Foundation. Now, we saw last issue was Deathstroke then showed up, put a sword into Batman's knee, or it was like somewhere in like Batman's leg, and he's like bleeding out, right? He's at his lowest point, he's not doing good, and what we see here is Batman struggling, right? And he's remembering a time that he visited one of the greatest detectives in history. Now, before we dive into the actual issue, other things to know is pretty much Joker's new girlfriend, or more like Joker's new partner, Punchline, is involved in this. And she actually pretty much slit Harley Quinn's throat and put her into the water. She also shot Catwoman, and Catwoman's pretty much down. We don't know what happened to Catwoman. It was kind of ambiguous, but we find out more about that in this issue. First off, we have a dope cover. This cover actually looks pretty cool. I like it. It says like the relationship shattered, and it shows Catwoman and Batman. It's actually a pretty cool cover. Now, it's kind of misleading because their relationship doesn't get shattered in this issue. They actually, in a way, they don't work together, but they're planning on getting back together. So their relationship isn't shattered, but still a cool cover nonetheless. But guys, diving into this issue, what we see is pretty much Batman. But it's Bruce, right? Bruce is back then, and he's meeting up, and he's waiting for like this old man. Now, this old man is actually Cassandra Wycliffe Baker. Now, he's one of the greatest detectives in history, right? He's actually pretty much the enemy to the designer, or pretty much like vice versa. They're pretty much right. They have a big rivalry that spans so much like decades, alright? They have a big rivalry. Pretty much, if you compare it, it's pretty much like the Joker and Batman. But here, the designer actually won. He actually beat Baker, but it wasn't like he killed Baker. He was outmatched, and he left like a feared child. It explains this to Bruce, alright? Because Bruce pretty much, he's just going around, he's waiting for him, he goes after this old man. The old man's like, hey, don't follow me. He's like, get out of my house. But Bruce is like, no, I come here to learn from you. You're one of the greatest detectives. And pretty much Baker's like, yeah, but I got outmatched by the designer. And it wasn't pretty much like an honor. It wasn't like, oh yay, I got outmatched by this guy. No, a lot of people died, and it's my fault. And I just left because I couldn't fight off against him. Bruce is like, well, what can you teach me? And pretty much Baker says, well, I know that you've already been taught a lot of things already by Katana, how to wield the katana. You've been actually taught by Ducard, who is actually pretty much like Ra's al Ghul, and he's been taught different stuff, how to fight, how to pretty much keep his senses in check. Pretty much Bruce has already been taught a lot. He's already like a skilled fighter. But what he hasn't been taught is how to lose. And that's what Baker pretty much explains here. And Baker, in a way, is telling him, hey, you can't pretty much take on Gotham City. Gotham City is one of like the feared places on the earth. Like, it's a bad place to be. You don't want to be in Gotham City. And he's like, you're going to lose, you're going to die, and you're going to eventually turn out to be like me. But Bruce pretty much pushes past this. He's like, pretty much Baker never took that leap. He was going against the designer, they were always going against each other, but he gave up. Where Bruce is like, I'll take that leap and pretty much go on to pretty much defeat the Joker, defeat all these villains, and keep Gotham City safe. But what we see is we fast forward and we see pretty much Bruce, and he's stabbed right in the leg from last issue, and we see him bleed. Now he's not doing good. It explains that it's just like that one time when I was trained by Baker, one of the greatest detectives, to pretty much take pain and pretty much learn to lose, but to get back up. And we see Lucius Fox, he shows up, and Lucius Fox is like, man, you're not doing good. You need to go to a hospital. Everything's going pretty much not well. Joker's taking all your fortune. And Batman's like, no, I gotta leave. And he actually gets up. Because he was on the ground, he gets up, and Lucius is like, no, you can't stand on that leg. If you stand any longer, you're gonna pass out. But Bruce is like, no, there's no time for this. So Bruce then, what he does is he's like, I want to speak to Selina. And Lucius tells him that, hey, well, Selina's actually with my daughter right now. Pretty much Lucius' daughter, Tammy, is taking Selina to the hospital to get her stitched up, help her out. But what we see is Bruce like, no, I want to speak to her now. So pretty much Lucius gets Selena on the phone, and Bruce is telling her, hey, I'm sorry. Selena's like, no, I'm sorry. I tried to pretty much transfer all your money to get saved, but ended up going to the Joker's hand. He's now so powerful that we can't defeat him. But Bruce is like, no, I'm sorry because I pretty much put you in this situation. You're not shot, you're in pain, and we'll get back together. Just wait for me. Don't leave me. Bruce is like, Selena, don't leave me. Don't go out on your own. Just wait for me. I'll come to you soon. So what Bruce does is he jumps out the window, jumps through, and Lucius Fox is like, are you crazy? Like, you're gonna die. So Bruce jumps out the window, he's flying, he uses like his grappling hook to pretty much get himself to pretty much one of the hospitals, alright? To pretty much get to Selena. Now eventually he gets there, right? But Selena's gone. Like, once she got stitched up, she left. Now that's not actually what happened, she was actually saved by the Penguin. But we'll get there soon, right? But what we see is when he gets there, it's like, wait, where is she? And turns out we see some of Joker goons put their guns to Bruce's back, or Batman's back. And Batman's like, what's going on? We see Joker, we see Punchline, they're all talking to him, and Joker's like, hey, you're at your lowest point, Batman. Your girlfriend left you, Catwoman. Your butler, Alfred, he's dead. Lucius Fox, we got him. You see Punchline pretty much have a knife to Lucius Fox's neck. So pretty much Batman is all alone. Gotham's gonna get destroyed, and it's not gonna go so well. And actually, to show the stakes a little bit, you see one page, it's a quick scene, you see Deathstroke and Cheshire, right? And Cheshire comes to Deathstroke like, hey, you fulfilled your thing, what are you doing? Why are you just standing here? And Deathstroke is just looking out at Gotham City. He's like, 9 million people. And Cheshire's like, wait, what does that mean? And Deathstroke's like, I just want to take a look at this city one last time. So he's pretty much implying that the city's gonna get destroyed and 9 million people are gonna die. So Joker has some big plans that are gonna kill a lot of people, and that's not good. So Deathstroke leaves. But going back to Batman, you see him talking to Joker, and Joker's like, yeah, I took all your money, I'm gonna wage a war against you, you need to get cleaned up. So pretty much Joker's gonna clean up Batman with his wounds so Batman doesn't die. But by doing this, Batman's at his best, right? Or not his best, he can at least fight again. So now Joker has an adversary. He's like, hey, I want an equal match, so when I kill you, when I take everything from you, destroy Gotham City, it's actually worth it. So we see that, and Batman is standing there, and Joker says, fire at him. And you see all the Joker goons start shooting at Batman, and Batman pretty much falls out of the window. But Batman eventually gets on a ledge, and he's pretty much remembering Alfred. Now, before we get to the final 2 pages of this book, we actually talk about Selena. Now, we see Selena, she's saved by Penguin, she wakes up in pretty much this cold lounge, alright? And this is where different villains, like Tiger Shark, Killer Croc, Scarecrow, all the Firefly, all these different Batman villains are there, because they're trying to wait out this Joker war. Like, they don't want a part in this at all. They're like, a lot of people are gonna die, we're just gonna sit out and hang out here. And Penguin's like, wait, Catwoman, why should I keep you here instead of just put you out in Gotham City for you to die? And Selena's like, well, I have important information that pretty much the designer is actually the Joker. He's been playing us this entire time. And Penguin's like, alright, you got valuable information, you can stay here with us and pretty much watch the whole city burn while we are safe. So Selena's stuck there, maybe Selena will help out Batman, but in this moment, Batman is alone, alright? And you see Batman, he's out on the ledge, he's out on like a gargoyle, and you see like a Batman symbol behind him, and he's remembering Alfred. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't keep going, I need you, right? And Batman's like, no, I need to push forward. Alfred's always had my back, but he's dead now, he's gone. And Batman's like, I need to become a better Bat. I need to become the best version of myself to beat the Joker. And we see that, and he looks out and says, to be continued in the Joker War. And that's how this issue leaves us off. That the Batman, he's pretty much Bruce, he's at his lowest point, but he's getting back up. He's trying to become a better version of himself because the war that he's about to get in is the biggest war of his life with the Joker. But another scene in this issue is we see Lucius, and I actually forgot about this. Lucius actually talks to Batman saying, hey, I can't try to pretty much take on Alfred's role anymore. Pretty much Alfred is a rarity. He's always at Bruce's side, he always help him out. In Bruce's darkest moments, Alfred was there. But Lucius can't fill those shoes, Selena can't fill those shoes, so it just shows how important Alfred is as a character. And I actually really like that, because Alfred is important. He is. And it's good that James Tynion is actually recognizing that, because Alfred is one of the best Batman characters of all time. But guys, this is actually a pretty great issue. The art by Gilliam March, it's okay. Like, it's not my favorite art. I want George Mez back because his art was amazing. I actually want like Tony Daniel back. Like, those two were the best artists on this book. Like Gilliam March, his art is okay, but it's just, it doesn't match up to theirs. So that's my only complaint with this issue. But other than that, the rest of the issue is pretty great, right? Like, the pace was well done, Batman Joker going at it again, seeing Bruce go to pretty much Baker, or pretty much Cassandra, Will Clip Baker, one of the greatest detectives, to get help was actually very interesting. And to spin it that pretty much Baker was trying to actually not help Bruce but take him down was even more interesting. I like that. And actually brought this whole storyline, Their Dark Designs, to a solid conclusion. Now, this whole storyline was kind of all over the place. It was a long storyline, and at times it felt kind of filler, but at least it ended on a great note. And that's why I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. I recommend it. You should check it out. And I'm excited for the Joker War, right? It's going to be an awesome storyline. I'm actually more excited for issue number 100, because I'm guessing that's going to be like the conclusion to the Joker War, and a lot of big things are going to happen. But as DC has been advertising, this is the biggest battle between Joker and Batman ever. Now, will it actually be that? I don't know, but that still gets me really excited. We got some comments below. Tell me about this issue. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think about all the developments in this issue? Lucius getting pretty much kidnapped by Punchline, pretty much Joker waging war against Batman, having all his money, taking everything away from Batman, and Batman being alone. What do you think about that? But guys, like the video, give a big thumbs up on your channel, make sure subscribe to my next Batman comic review. I'll definitely be doing reviews for the Joker War when it comes out. But guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.